What's good, my crew?
Hello there.
We are back, and so is my voice.
Thank you.
If you guys been watching the last videos, you know that today has been an absolute movie. First, we found ourselves at the right place at the right time to see the CSX Gainesville Midland running alongside the Norfolk Southern Greenville District, and then we got to chase the Gainesville Midland, and then we went back to the Greenville District to see a BNSF SD70MAC get lifted as it had an axle replaced out on the field.
Incredible.
We could not have scripted this day. This was absolutely crazy. And guess what? We're still not done.
Oh my god.
With the MAC work being done and the Midland offering nothing more for us to see for the rest of the day, we decided to turn our attention right back to the Greenville District, where now we would be looking for mainline trains. Unfortunately for us, there wasn't too much mainline activity at this present moment, and that would actually be because of the one Norfolk Southern mainline train that we had seen earlier in the day, Norfolk Southern 50G. I've mentioned this symbol before, and if you recognize it, you may remember that this train terminates in Baldwin, Georgia, and their termination will require them to run around their entire train and back up the train into one of the mills that's located in Baldwin, Georgia. And since the section right in front of the mill is a single track, they would be holding up the entire main line. So we decided to go to Baldwin because one, that would be the only train that'd be running right now, and two, because the power would have to reverse in order to back in their cut into the mill, we knew that the SD70 ACC that had been trailing third out would be leading as they were completing their shoves.
Nice.
And thus, from Gainesville, we found ourselves here, outside one of the two mills that are operated by Fielddale Farms Corporation in Baldwin, Georgia. During the entire time we had been chasing the Midland and watching that Mac get its axle replaced, 50G had come up to Baldwin, Georgia, and had already reversed around their train and put down a few cuts into the mill. Upon our arrival, we had seen the conductor next to the switch, and he was actually waiting for the timer to go off on the switch. Apparently, the switch actually has a time delay.
What?
So once the conductor throws the switch, they actually have to wait, I think he said maybe 10 minutes or something like that before they can throw the switch again and then continue their work. So for now, we were just waiting for the timer to go off before it eventually did, and the conductor communicated up to the engineer that the tracks would be lined for them to start reversing back into the mill. As 50G reverses into the mill here, you can actually see its cut still sitting on the main line. The way that this shoving works is that 50G will have to take out a cut from their train, take that cut and reverse it back in, then couple back up to the rest of the train, pull up towards the switch, make another cut, and then reverse back again, and then just repeat the process until the entire train has been shoved into the storage tracks. And you can see that because they have to leave their whole train sitting on the single track main line here, this process does essentially block any traffic that is running on the Greenville District through here, and nothing can pass until 50G completes its work. As 50G reverses behind the curve there and back towards the storage track, a taxi cab actually came up from behind us and started going towards the tracks. Which confused us because we were like, there's no way that this crew called out a cab when there's PCI bans that exist. But believe it or not, as the cab car got close to the locomotive, you can actually see the engineer waving from the cab for him to come. So maybe this taxi is actually for the train crew? I don't know. It was our guess at this point. I can only imagine what it's like being a taxi cab driver and you get called out to a literal train crew on a locomotive.
Sensational.
After that little situation, I guess, got cleared up, 50G's power, after dropping off the cut that it had just reversed, started coming up towards us, getting ready to clear the switch and reverse onto his mainline train, and having a very friendly engineer to add the cherry on top to this already nice EMD leader. Power now having cleared the switch, the conductor gets off, goes back to the switch to throw it so that it's facing the mainline direction, and then the locomotive starts reversing once more to couple up to that cut. Conveniently for us, this was actually the final cut of the day. Wow. As I said before, this train had been working the entire time we were chasing all the other stuff, so they'd already put away the majority of the train while we weren't here, and now that we're getting ready to put in the final cars. Good for us, because that meant that we would start having a lot more mainline action very soon.
What do you think?
With this being the final cut to be put away, the train no longer needed the EOT, so you can see the conductor close the angle clock that's on the airline of the train to cut off air.
Are you serious right now?
So you can see the conductor close the airline on the train.
Yeah.
Bruh. Look at this bozo, bro. Anyways, as I was saying, the EOT is no longer needed since this is the final cut to be put away, so the conductor is closing off the airline to the EOT and is now taking it off before the engineer backs up and starts his final cut. And with the EOT now removed, 50G started making its final reversal of the day. And oh my goodness, it was loud.
We have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem.
Since they're reversing downhill with loaded grain cars, they needed some brake pressure on all the brake cylinders so that the train would start running away. And the sound of the brake shoes rolling against the wheels was deafening, which honestly at this point was one of the loudest things I had ever heard. It was terrible. That was until 2102.
Oh my God.
Yeah, y'all got a lot more waiting to do.
No, dude!
With 50G no longer needed in the mainline, the engineer hopped out of the locomotive and started throwing the necessary switches to isolate the mill trackage from the mainline, which included him having to come up to the switch that was right next to us. And when he did, we asked him, was that taxi cab for them? And believe it or not, he actually said yes.
Wait, no, wait, what?
With 50G done for the day, now the mainline was open, and now the bottleneck of trains that had been held up by this grain train could start flowing. Before that would happen, however, there were some weird sightings that were going on.
What do you mean by that?
The first one being of this black goat that just appeared out of nowhere.
Bro, what? Nah, today's weird, bro. What?
That's a leash too. What is this?
And while these goons were trying to investigate, before we knew it,
It's popping.
Armor Yellow on 153 came routing the curve. after 153 came, even more unusual sightings happened because this random dog
What the dog doing?
pops up out of nowhere.
Disgusting.
Little bro here was just a distraction though, because now it was time for us to see the train that we had initially wanted to see when we had first come out here, 283. Now the Mac had been taken off, but they still had that H2 Gevo and the Wells Fargo Mac trailing. And the engineer today was Doug.
W's in the shot.
Yep, that Doug, and that Doug. We love seeing Doug, and it looked like today, Doug loved seeing us. As you could probably tell, 283 has slowed down a lot. That is because they are meeting 240 at Lula. So, recognizing this, we raced ahead and positioned ourselves at the overhead bridge that goes over the tracks. With 283 stopped behind us, and shortly 240 racing by us, bypassing some mow equipment put on the side. With 283 gone, there was nothing blocking the main line at the moment for 240, so they shortly received clearance and made their southbound exit from Lula. And Doug continuing to be friendly to us.
Yeah, that's what he waved at.
Now, ideally, from here, we wanted to catch 283 next to the Mac because we thought that would have been a cool shot with the double H2. But yeah, that was not happening with this traffic. So we still made our way to Gainesville, but we decided to pull off at this crossing. This crossing which lies just ahead of the cargo facility and which gives us a nice shot of 283 going by a mill. You may have noticed that 283 did not have full clearance. They were running on an approach going through Gainesville. Wow. And that's because they were actually meeting Norfolk Southern 242. Yeah, I wasn't joking about this bottleneck. 50G was really holding up a lot of trains. But now that 50G was gone, we had a very nice late afternoon rush. A rush that would be concluded with 242 bypassing us, and me at least getting one shot of the train bypassing this Mac. What an excellent way to end up this Norfolk Southern action with an ace leader. One with a horrendously loud K5 LLA. That thing was crazy. Not louder than 2102 though. Y'all still waiting. And with 242's departure, there was nothing more on the Norfolk Southern mainline for us. So I went out of my way to collect a little souvenir.
What is that?
Before calling it quits and saying goodbye to this unforgettable day. This was crazy. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, God bless. I will see you soon out on the high iron.
I lied.
My fault. There was one more thing that happened.
He's a liar.
Believe it or not, we actually got jump scared by an Abbeville train.
What?
Yep, the trains just find us. Fortunately, this was just a local, so we weren't really missing anything here. And now, things are done. All right, my friends. God bless. I will see you soon out on the high iron.
Crazy. Wait, so my... Turn right.